Susan Hiller, born 1940, is an American-born artist who lives in London, UK. Her art practice includes installation, video, photography, performance and writing. Early life and education. Born in Tallahassee, Florida in 1940, Susan Hiller was raised in and around Cleveland, Ohio. She later moved to Coral Gables, Florida in 1950, where she attended Coral Gables High School. Graduating in 1957, she attended Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts and received a B.A. in 1961. After spending a year in New York studying photography, film, drawing and linguistics, Hiller went on to pursue a postgraduate degree at Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana, with a National Science Foundation Fellowship in Anthropology. She completed a Ph.D. in anthropology in 1965, after doing field work in Mexico, Guatemala and Belize, with a grant from the Middle American Research Institute. 1962–5. Hiller became critical of academic anthropology. She did not want her research to be part of the objectification of the contrariness of lived events that was destined to become another complicit thread woven into the fabric of evidence that would help anthropology become a science. It was during a slide lecture on African art that Hiller decided to become an artist. She felt art was, above all, irrational, mysterious, numinous. She decided she would become not an anthropologist but an artist. She would relinquish factuality for fantasy. This decision to begin an art practice was an effort, as the artist later recalled, to find a way to be inside all my activities. Quote, artistic career. Beginning her artistic practice in the early 1970s, Hiller was influenced by the visual language of minimalism and conceptual art and now cites minimalism, fluxus, surrealism and her study of anthropology as major influences on her work. Hiller's first exhibition was a group show at Gallery House in London in 1973. There she presented two works, one under her own name and one using the pseudonym Hace Posable, Spanish for Make It Possible. Transformer. 1973. A floor-to-ceiling grid structure with tissue paper covered with the artist's marks and inquires. 1973. A slideshow of facts collected from a British encyclopedia meant to emphasize culturally partisan definitions in what is considered an objective and equitable source of information. Her artistic practice was innovative for her time and included a variety of media and performance-based work. In the early 1970s, Hiller created participatory group investigations including Prayer, 1969, Dream Mapping, 1974, and Street Ceremonies, 1973. These works originated in her conviction that art can function as a critique of existing culture, and as a locus where futures not otherwise possible can begin to shape themselves. Quote, over the course of her career, Hiller is known for making use of everyday phenomena and cultural artifacts from our society, drawing inspiration from sources as diverse as postcards, dreams, automatic writing, archives, Punch and Judy shows, UFO sightings, horror movies and narratives. Using the techniques of collecting and cataloging, presentation and display, she transforms these everyday ephemera into artworks that offer a means of exploring the inherent contradictions in our collective cultural life, as well as the individual and collective unconscious and subconscious. As an artist, she is interested in the areas of our cultural collective experience that are concerned with devalued or irrational experiences, the subconscious, the supernatural, the surreal, the mystical and the paranormal. She engages with these experiences and phenomena that defy logical or rational explanation through the rational scientific techniques of taxonomy, collection, organization, description and comparison. She does not, however, apply systems of judgment to the work, refraining from ever categorizing the experiences as true or false, fact or fiction. Hiller describes her practice as paraconceptual, a neologism that places her work between the conceptual and the paranormal. Many of her works explore the liminality of certain phenomena, including the practice of automatic writing. Sisters of Menon, 1972-79. Homage to Gertrude Stein, 2010. Near-Death Experiences, Clinic, 2004. And Collective Experiences of Unconscious, Subconscious and Paranormal Activity, Dream Mapping, 1974. Belshazzar's Feast, 1983-4. Dream Screens, 1996. Psy Girls, 1999. Witness, 2000. Borrowing strategies from minimalism to apply rational framework to these products of the unconscious. The artist mounted the work in 4 L-shaped frames that, when installed on the wall together with 4 individually framed pages of her own commentary, make a cruciform. Hiller also published Sisters of Menon as an artist's book. She insisted on blurring the boundaries between cultural definitions of rational and irrational, at the same time reinstating the validity of the unconscious as source of knowledge or truth. After the mid-1970s, Hiller continued her engagement with minimalism for 10 months, 1977-79. She took photographs of her pregnant body and kept a journal documenting the subjective aspects of her pregnancy. The final work comprises 10 gridded blocks of 28 black and white photographs, each block corresponding to a lunar month. The images are accompanied by excerpts from her journal entries for the same period. These components are installed on the wall in a step pattern that descends from left to right. As Lisa Tickner observed, the sentimentality associated with images of pregnancy is set tartly on edge by the scrutiny of the woman artist who is acted upon, but who also acts, who enjoys a precarious status as both the subject and the object of her work. The echoes of landscape, the allusions to ripeness and fulfillment, are refused by the anxieties of the text and by the methodical process of representation. The work was considered controversial when first exhibited in London. Since the 1980s, Hiller has incorporated the use of audio and visual technology as a means of investigating these phenomena, allowing the visitor to make visions from ambiguous oral and visual cues. In describing Hiller's work, art historian Drive Alexandra Coakley notes that Hiller's work unearths the repressed permeability of unstable yet prized constructs, such as rationality and consciousness, aesthetic value and artistic canons. Hiller refers to this precarious positioning of her oeuvre as paraconceptual, just sideways of conceptualism and neighboring the paranormal, a devalued site of culture where women and the feminine have been conversely privileged. Most interestingly, in the hybrid field of paraconceptualism, neither conceptualism nor the paranormal are left intact, as the prefix para symbolizes the force of contamination through a proximity so great that it threatens the soundness of all boundaries. Quote, collections. Hiller's works are included in both international public and private collections including the Centre Pompidou, Paris, Tate Gallery, London, Colby College Museum of Art, Colby, Maine, Elefontaine aux Cisneros Foundation, Miami, Frackborg Agni, Dijon, Hennion Stad Kunstcenter, Oslo, Henry Moore Sculpture Collection, Leeds, in Tottenham, Brumadinho, Brazil, Israel Museum, Jerusalem, Ludwig Museum, Cologne, Modena Musette, Stockholm, National Gallery of Art, South Australia. Adelaide, Rhode Island School of Design Museum. Providence, Rhode Island, Smith College Museum of Art. Northampton, Massachusetts, Tokyo Metropolitan Museum of Photography. Victoria and Albert Museum. London, Art Fellowships and Awards. 1968 Carlyle Foundation. Vence, France, Residency. 1969 Ministère des Beaux-Arts. Morocco, Residency. 1975 Artist in Residence. University of Sussex. Brighton, GB. 1976 Gulbenkian Foundation Visual Artists Award. GB. 1977 Gulbenkian Foundation Visual Artists Award. GB. 1981 Greater London Arts Association Bursary. GB. 1982 Visual Arts Board Travelling Fellowship. Australia, National Foundation for the Arts Fellowship. USA. 1998 Guggenheim Fellowship in Visual Art Practice. USA. 2002 DAAD Residency. Berlin. 2002-2003. Germany. Kulturstiftung des Bundes. Halle, Germany. Couvent des Récollets Residency. Paris. Fr. Hiller has lectured at the Slade School of Fine Art. London and has served as Distinguished Visiting Professor at California State University. 1988. And as Visiting Professor at the Department of Art at the University of California, Los Angeles. 1992. Key works. 1970-2010. Conceptual painting. 1970-1984. Relics. 1972 ongoing. Dedicated to the unknown artists. 1972-76. Transformer. Transformation. 1973 quarters. Enquiries. Inquiries. 1973-5. Dream mapping. 1974. Dedicated to unknown artists. 1972-6. 10 months. 1977-9. Sisters of Menon. 1972-79. Work in progress. 1980. Monument. 1980-1. Self-portraits. 1982-7. Belshazzar's Feast. 1983-4. Magic Lantern. 1987. An Entertainment. 1990. From the Freud Museum. 1991-7. Dream Screens. 1996. Wild Talents. 1997. Psy Girls. 1999. Witness. 2000. The J. Street Project. 2002-2005. Ceramic Works. 2003. What Every Gardener Knows. 2003. Clinic. 2004. Homages. 2003 ongoing. The Last Silent Movie. 2007-2008. Channels. 2013. Artists' Books. Rough C. Gardner Arts Centre Gallery. University of Sussex. Brighton. 1976. 56B. W. Illis. Enquiries. Inquiries. Gardner Arts Centre Gallery. University of Sussex. Brighton. With the Arts Council of Great Britain 1979. Texts as Illis. Sisters of Menon. Coracle Press for Gimple Fils. London 1983. Facsimile of handwritten texts and charts as Illis. Hand-painted board covers. After the Freud Museum. Bookworks. London. 1995. Reprinted 2000. 79b. W. Illis. Cover. Text by Susan Hiller. Witness. Artangel. London 2000. 21b. W. in Carl. Illis. Split Hairs. The Art of Alfie West. Self-published. Berlin. 2004. Co-authored with David Coxhead. 9 Carl. Illis. The J. Street Project 2002 to 2005. Compton Verney, Warwickshire, and Berlin 2005. 303 Col. Illis. Intro. By Susan Hiller. Afterword by Jörg Heiser. Text in English and German. Levotations. Homage to Marcel Duchamp. Institute of Contemporary Arts with Bookworks. London 2008. 70b. W. in Col. Illis. Text by Susan Hiller. Catalogues. Susan Hiller. From Here to Eternity. Essays by Richard Grayson, Jörg Heiser and Ellen Seiferman. Published by Verlag für Moderne Kunst on the occasion of the exhibition at Kunsthal Nuremberg. 10 December 2011 to 19 February 2012. References. External links. The official site. David Berridge. The Storyteller of Negative Space. Writing in the work of Susan Hiller. Philip. Book Review. 2010. Genevieve Cloutier. Spatial Narratives. Susan Hiller's From the Freud Museum and the Mechanisms of Narrativity, N. Paradoxa. International Art Journal Volume. The 22nd of July 2008 pp. 36 to 43.